Hey everybody, welcome back to Champ & Sons and our Planet Coaster series. It has been a while since we've been in the park. And you can see we've made a lot of changes to the RMC coaster. A lot of the decorating we did finish based off the last episode. So it's good to see that kind of get put in. What we are looking to do in this next episode is to build one of our other monster coasters that we're looking at putting into the park. Now, we did this on a live stream, so what we're looking at is really some of the interaction with the comments from the live stream as far as the design of the park. Trying to put in different coasters, talking about how pretty much the only coasters we have for the most part are B&M coasters until we really put in the Twister, and then our hybrid coaster, which does need a name, by the way. All right, it needs a name, so be free to put one into the comment section, and we'll kind of get stuff designed based off that. Now, in the chat, we were talking about maybe putting in a family wooden coaster, looking at possibly just a smaller one, a little 60-footer out and back kind of coaster going there. So we do think about it. It really would help fill this little gap in to put in an additional coaster. But having this wooden one right next to the hybrid, it's a little wonky, to say the least. So it would be interesting to see how it shaped out, but we could definitely do it. And then we also talk about putting in a Vekoma SLC coaster, which once again would be a little interesting to put into that open section between the B&M invert and the hybrid coaster. So it would be interesting to put that in right there. So we do talk about that a little bit. But instead, where we decide to put one in, we are going to build one. Okay? We are going to do that. We're going to put one in near the back of the coaster. Near the back of the park, actually. So right where essentially the rock wall is, it kind of shut down, was kind of the back barrier. We are going to put in another one right. And you'll kind of see us place it. We don't build it in this episode because we do focus on our big monster over there. Putting that one in. As you can see, we're going into the store there talking about the Vekoma SLC. And so I need to look at what that's like, because for some reason off the top of my head, it wasn't popping up as far as what it should be. So we do start putting stuff in here to take a look at it. Got to realize I got to change some of this stuff up. And they were telling me to look at that one. However, I just continue the search and it doesn't really work out. So we go back to Vekoma SLC as they're letting me know in the chat which one they were referring to. So you'll see us go right back to it here and drop it in. And yep, we've got it up and loaded. So good to see us with these things being put in. We do kind of look at how this one is all custom supported, which didn't dawn on me at the beginning until I did this and removed the coaster. It is custom supported, so I have to go back through and you'll see me kind of remove it. Taking a look at it, we go on a couple rides discussing it, and that's when we decide to really put one in, to put in a Vekoma into the park. So like I said, it is going to go at the back of the section. We have it right here right now just as an example, just to kind of look at to see how these things ride out. Now, the person that built this one, I guess Enigma or whoever, did a really good job with it. It is an incredibly smooth coaster. It's fast, it's short, it's nothing too excessive. So we do end up deciding to put that one into the park. Like I said, it is going to be at the back, though. It's not going to be right here, because this is where we start looking at it and going, one invert next to another invert. It's kind of a wonky kind of situation. And it's not something I really want to actually do. And if we see it cuts off a lot of the space for where we could put in the big boy, and I think there's a little too much interaction in that area. This is actually a really good view. Even though they are next to each other, having it like that was actually a pretty good view, pretty good viewpoint. Now, all I'm doing right here is looking at the height of the coaster. Just want to see how big it is. So whenever we do start to design our own, we give it a similar size pattern, and that's why all I'm looking at is the results until I notice I get for a size comparison. You place people down, some of the animatronics, just to get peep related sizes. I just thought it was funny seeing a random guy shooting while floating in the air. And so looking at the drop 88 feet, okay, we can deal with that. So we don't build it in this episode, but this is where I decided to put it in the back. It will be in a later episode that we actually build this thing. We got to get the big one built first, got to get that designed. All the stuff placed around it. And then even with putting it here, it's going to be trying to figure out exactly where we're going to connect that up to. You know what I mean? There's our lovely Tegid cam. And yeah, it's not that big of a distraction being put in the back there, so that's why we do decide for that. It works out pretty decently there. So we will end up building one in the future, just not right now. So once we get kind of the placement of this coaster down and all that fun jazz, we decide to get everything set up and move and start working on our big coaster over there off to the side, because that is the main purpose of this episode, is getting that coaster done. But like I said, as we build these coasters, including with that hybrid one we built in the last episode, feel free to put names of coaster suggestions in the comments, and we will see about getting ride signs built for them. I generally like to do it with the screens for the most part. I don't do the arc shapes all that much just because I'm not that good at it. But we do it with the screens, build them off camera, and then we place them in. So it kind of tends to work out pretty well for us on that one. So we do get the thing placed for the most part, knowing that we're going to have to kind of basic, shift some stuff around. We're going to have to play with the terrain. This is a little high up to connect over with a path on the backside. So there's going to be some finagling to get done there. We understand that. And that's why we're just looking at it here in the preliminary stages of the park. Going ahead and doing some terraforming just because we know we're putting this thing in. It is what it is. But we're going to be getting to the big coaster here in a little bit. I definitely say hold on for that. We will have POV rides of our big coaster at the end. The first few probably are going to go by pretty quick as we test things out. We look at it, see how it kind of goes. And so it should be interesting. Definitely stay tuned for that POV at the end. I'm going to go ahead and hop off, let y'all enjoy the music as we get to the building of our big monster coaster over there. And I will see y'all here in just a wee bit. And I am back as we kind of work on some final touches here with our lovely little coaster. It really does come out to be pretty good, and we're going to hit this POV in a really fast mode. Like I said, this was about an hour and a half worth of recording, maybe a little longer on a live stream. That once we do that, we come back and shorten it up pretty quickly. Really smoothing this coaster out makes a massive difference in the feel of it. Still, oddly enough, the smoothest portion of it is that little turnaround section where we have the in-game pieces coming in. So I was glad to get the nausea rating down. Fear, I don't mind being in the red. I really don't care about fear being in the red. The nausea rating, we had to get that into the green, so we do. Now, I'm looking at this thing trying to figure out a way to get, say, maybe 2 cars on there, because I really don't do block brakes all that well. Just having all the different block brake sections become a pain in the butt, especially when you're not that good at timing of them. So, it is what it is. I am going to end up having to go through as I'm watching this to remove some of the supporting. We talk about it before, but I'm going to do a lot of that stuff off camera just because, man, that's kind of harsh to watch. Watch it coming in off camera or on camera, at least for me. So I do end up deciding also at this point to put in a natural tunnel through this turn. I don't want it to be open. I mean, plus, even then, I'm probably just going to surround it with trees and stuff. So why would I worry about it having the, not having a tunnel around it? So we decided to actually bury it through, and I think it works pretty good coming off that turn. Coming down through the darkness of the tunnel, essentially, and into the light. It was fun to work on Bill to kind of really shape that thing out to correctly kind of fit this area. So like I said, we're going to come back through and do some coaster support work. Sorry about that. Get some coaster support work done and really get this thing dressed out in the next episode. The coaster supports, like I said, I'm doing off camera because I can hardly stand to do it, much less watch it. So we are going to do a lot of the finishing touches on camera in the next live stream on Twitch at Champ and Sons. So definitely stay tuned for that. And that's where we're discussing doing the coaster supports right there. But we are about to get to, this is one of, hold on, just a small little this is one of the easiest ways I do deal with coaster supports, as I just put a pathway in there, especially when they start going out wide, it kind of takes them away. So just a thought, but it doesn't look all that stable either way. So I'll have to end up doing a lot of that stuff. But we'll get into the next episode, a lot of the decorating around it, and then we'll continue with the park, so stay tuned for that. And definitely, like I said, everybody get ready for the POV ride. It is coming up. So on that note, I do just want to remind y'all to hit the subscribe button if you have not hit it already. And definitely give us a thumbs up if you like Planet Coaster, you like the video, you're excited for Planet Coaster 2 to come out. We're trying to get this park finished before that does release. So the next park we do will be in Planet Coaster 2. But outside of that, I'm going to let y'all enjoy this POV ride of our monster. If you have a name for it, put it down in the comments, everybody, and I will see y'all in the next episode. So as always, stay safe, and well, y'all know how it goes from here, right? Later, y'all.